going, guys? Welcome to today's episode. We are going to be talking about the newest A24 horror film straight out of Sundance Film Festival. To start us off, my name is Ryan, and I'm a cinemaholic.
My name is Spencer, and I'm a cinemaholic.
And I'm Bella, and I'm a cinemaholic. So, Hereditary. The Graham family starts to unravel. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to say that word correctly.
That's good.
Oh, okay. Following the death of their reclusive grandmother.
I'll start with my thoughts. I really liked Hereditary. This movie is terrifying. Like, super scary in a way that I'm one who normally when I watch a horror movie, there are two options. I'm either like, that was good or that was the worst thing I've ever seen. And when I walk out of many horror movies, in fact, most horror movies, I'm usually like, maybe there was an image in there that was like unsettling, but I don't get really scared during these movies. Like, there's only a very small amount of horror movies that scare me. This movie scared me. It scared me quite a bit. There are some images in this movie that the camera lingers on that are like utterly grotesque and that are chilling, and they stick and get burned into your mind. And I think one of the main reasons why this movie works so well is because there are like three lead performances that are so strong. Toni Collette particularly is so good in this movie, like crazy good. There are scenes where she has to be in she's in under a lot of stress throughout the movie, and she has to be very hysterical in lots of scenes, and it could be very hammy. It could not work at all at the hands of a lesser actor. And here I feel like she just completely goes for it, and it pays off totally well. And Gabriel Byrne kind of plays, the kind of typical skeptic in a horror movie, but he also brings something to it that is so impressive. And then the kid, what's his name? Alex Wolff. This kid is really great in this movie as far as I'm concerned. I think that my one con, or my couple of cons, are there are only some points where I feel like Alex Wolff's performance feels a little bit like there were people laughing at scenes where they probably shouldn't have been laughing at him, and I was kind of like, oh man. I mean, like there were scenes of like big emotion, and there were supposed to be these big scary scenes, and he kind of was hamming it up a little bit too much, I would say. And then I'd say the ending kind of reveal, which obviously I'm not going to say anything about, there needed to be a little bit more as far as like explanation, I felt like, personally.
No, yeah, I'll piggyback off of that last comment, and that's honestly really my only downside to this movie was I wish the ending would have been planted a little bit earlier, a little bit more explanation in the first and second acts, so that the payoff, it's such a huge payoff and such a disturbing and frightening payoff that I wish we would have had a little bit more information on the front end so that it fills in the gaps, so that it really does reach the horrific climax that it wants to hit. I really dig the A24 style. I think they are really creating their own kind of horror genre style, with lots of slow pans and slow camera movements and pushing, and they really just kind of linger on a lot of either objects or faces or horrifying moments, and I think that style is really paying off and really catching on. There were a lot of moments in this movie that reminded me of The Witch, a lot of moments that reminded me of It Comes at Night. So I'm not a horror guy. Like, I do not enjoy going to horror movies, mainly because I am a scaredy cat. But we went and we saw this one, and I was sitting next to her. My legs were just like shaking after, and we sat through a Q&A, and then we started walking home, and I was walking to our car, and I was still like shaking, like,
yeah, dude, I literally
jump out at me.
I don't know if I told you this, I sprinted to my car when I got out because I was running through a dark neighborhood to try to get to my car, and I was just like, I heard something and I was just off. I was like tail lights sprinting as fast as I could. Terrifying.
Oh, man.
That's funny. I guess I was like the only one that wasn't like super scared after we got out of the movie. But like the next day, I was like, I don't want to look behind the car, like the seat behind me. No. And then yeah, it was freaky. And then when I went to sleep, I was like, I hope no one's here. I hope no one's here. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I think it was really awesome. So it was not awesome, but it was really well made. It was really scary. I agree with that. And I think it's like you guys were saying that the story, like I wish it had like a little bit more of an explanation, but I think it worked really well when like you had no idea what was happening, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, okay, so that's the reason this is happening, because of this. And I like that. I think it's interesting. And I even was telling Ryan, like, stupid things that I think when I watch horror movies, like, why do ghosts and, like, demons or that stuff, like, why did I have to throw stuff away, like, just to scare, like, why? You know, and then he explained to me why, and then it made a lot of sense, and I thought, yeah. I was like, they're angry. But anyway, and... I really enjoyed this movie, and there were several, like, lots of moments that really reminded me of The Shining. And if I'm going to compare like The Shining and this movie, which is not really a comparison, but like of me getting scared, I think I got more scared with The Shining than this movie. And it's just a comparison because I thought it reminded me like a couple of scenes. But Hereditary was really, really fun, scary movie. I really enjoyed it, and there were some really creepy moments. So many creepy moments. I was like, oh, I don't want to look at that. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was great.
What would you score?
I would score it 7.5 out of 10.
I'm going to go an 8.5. I really, really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was balls scary.
Yeah, I'm actually with Ryan. I'm going to give this one an 8.5 as well. There's one sequence, last act, that's like, it's like probably a 10-minute sequence that feels like it's 30 minutes because it's so scary. And you brought up the other A24 movies, and I agree there's like a thematic, what do you want to call it, comparison that can be drawn, that they're all three movies about families like imploding in on themselves. And I think that that's really one of the scariest things to think about. Is you're like people who you love and care about, like either turning on each other, or not being able to trust each other, or it's really creepy to think about that type of stuff. And I think that this is the A24's horror game is really on point for me.
Awesome. Well, thanks guys for checking this one out. I'm sure if you've at least clicked on this video, you've heard of some of the buzz about this movie coming out of Sundance. A lot of people are talking about it, and a lot of people are saying that it's scary and possibly the scariest of the year. 1 month in.
Yeah.
So stay tuned, guys.
Early.
We are going to be reviewing all the scary movies that come out for the rest of the year, as well as here at Sundance. Subscribe so that you can stay on top of that. Follow us on all of our social media platforms so you can be informed as well. Comment, let us know, what is the scariest movie you've seen
This year,
in the last 29 days.
Insidious.
Oof.
Also, watch the Q&A for Hereditary that we filmed.
I actually didn't post it.
Oh.
Because she talks a little bit about spoilers.
don't
right.
post it then.
And
if
so,
she
yeah,
talks about
Okay.
I didn't want to post that one. But once the movie does come out, I will post that Q&A so that you can check it out. But, yeah, there are quite a bit of spoilers in her.
And let us know if the ending makes you feel as, like, that ending made me feel really, really weird. I can't even describe the way it felt. That was terrible. Until next time.